Hi, my name is Jamie Harden, and thank you for tuning to my video about supply chain management. So let's go ahead and get started and talk about what is supply chain management, also called SCM. So SCM has been defined as the design, execution, control, and monitoring of supply chain activities with the objective to create net value, leveraging worldwide logistics and building a competitive infrastructure. So in more simple terms, supply chain management is simply the flow of goods and services. This could involve the movement and storage of raw materials, work in process inventory, and finished goods from one point to another. It could also include linked network within the organization, along with other connected channels to provide services and products that are required or wanted by the end customers in a supply chain process. So I talked about a little bit about the resources within the supply chain management. So now I'll talk about some of the functions. So supply chain management is a cross-functional approach that includes the managing the movement of raw materials in an organization, the internal process of raw materials into finished good, and the movement of those finished goods out of the organization to the final customer. Because companies strive to reduce their ownership of raw materials, oftentimes these functions can be outsourced to other firms. This makes the process much more cost effective. Less cost control over daily logistic operations of the creation of the finished product and an increase in supply chain partners leads to the creation of supply chain management concept. The purpose is to improve trust in the collaboration among supply chain partners and improve the timeliness of inventory movement. So there's two main type of supply chain systems. The first being a planning application. Planning applications use advanced logarithms to determine the best way to fill an order. The second type is an execution application, which tracks the physical status of goods, the management of materials, and the financial information involving all parties. Some SCM applications are based on open data models that support the sharing of both data inside and outside the enterprise. Next, we'll look at the main management components. There's several literature on business process reengineering, buyer supplier relationships, and SSM suggests that there are various types of management components. These, however, are the main ones, and those are planning and controlling, work structure, organization structure, product flow facility structure, information flow facility structure, management structure, power and leadership structure, risk and reward structure, and then culture and attitude. A primary level channel participant is a business that is willing to participate in the responsibility for inventory, ownership, or assume other financial risk. A secondary level participant is a business that participates in channel relationships by performing essential service for those primary participants, including secondary level components. Third level channel participants and components that support primary level channel participants and are the fundamental branches of secondary level components may also be included. So next, I'll talk about a reverse supply chain. So reverse logistics is the process of managing the return of goods. So oftentimes it is referred to as the aftermarket customer services. Anytime money is taken from a company's warranty reserve or service logistics budget, one can speak of reverse logistics operations. So, reverse logistics is also the process of managing the return of goods from a store, which the returned goods are often sent back to the warehouse, and after they either the warehouse scrap the goods or send them back to the supplier for replacement, depending on the warranty of the merchandise. So, why do businesses care about supply chain management? So, organizations that have found in order to succeed, they must rely on effective supply chains or other global networks within the marketplace. So, the concept of business has kind of changed within the few years, and it's not just like a typical enterprise boundaries. And companies are now seeking to organize entire business processes through a chain of multiple companies. This has been extremely beneficial to a lot of companies, especially if you look at some like Dell and Hewlett Packard, because it enabled these two organizations in particularly to successfully operate collaborative supply chain networks where each company specialized within a particular few activities. So each company is only making a particular product or providing a particular service, which then allows them to really specialize on that product or service and to ensure that one product or service is at the highest quality for the lowest cost. So some of the global trends that are occurring right now within supply chain is an increase in globalization, also an increase in cross-border sourcing, and again, improved collaboration, which is very, very important to business because it allows them to operate on a much cheaper scale. Some of the advantages, as you can see, there are several, but I'll just hit a few of the key ones. It's better inventory control. You no longer have an excess of inventory just lying around, which again goes back to money. If you can reduce the amount of unnecessary inventory, you can then help lower your costs. Increase in the market visibility because you're working with so many companies and you're able to collaborate. You have better brand recognition by working with some of those companies that maybe smaller companies would not necessarily be able to work with if they're operating on their own. Also, there's an increase in performance. Because you have so many people working together and coming together, collaborating, you can more effectively work on your particular process or your particular product that you're producing within the process. Some different disadvantages is that a process like this, because it requires so much work, is very expensive to implement. There's also various functions that are difficult to manage because you have so many moving pieces. It requires managers to be on top of their game and very informed about the different process. Also, there's necessary skills and experiences that are important to have for those managers and also those people working within those processes to ensure that the process is being implemented correctly. So, one of the major concepts and one of the major benefits about supply chain management is supply chain consulting, which it provides expert knowledge to enhance productivity. It is a service involved in the transfer of knowledge on how to explicitly existing assets through improved coordination. It can hence be a source of competitive advantage. So it allows companies to know like what they're going up against, also predict trends and all of that, which ultimately goes back to increasing a company's revenue. Some of the major companies in this field are Deloitte, McKinsey and Company, and Accenture. First, I want to talk about McKinsey and Company because it is considered one of the most prestigious consulting companies in the world. It has a clientele consisting of over 80 of the largest corporations in the world. And it has revenues of $8.3 billion dollars and employs roughly around 11,000 people, according to a stat back in 2015. So, as you can see, these companies can make extremely, extremely high revenues if they are run correctly. Now moving on to Deloitte, if you thought McKinsey Company was impressive, then you will definitely be impressed with Deloitte because it is truly an amazing company. It is considered one of the big four accounting firms. It is the largest professional service network in the world by revenue and number of professionals. Deloitte provides audit, tax, consulting, enterprise risk, and financial advisories with more than 244,000 professionals globally. In the fiscal year 2016, the company earned a net gross profit of $36.8 billion dollars in revenue. It is the sixth largest privately owned organization in the United States. So this company has a large number of clients, over 250 companies in the United Kingdom. It is among top 15 companies in top 500 companies in India. So as you can see, Deloitte is just constantly ranked among the very best when it comes to companies in general, and especially it is considered. I would consider it is the best when it comes to consulting companies in particular. So thank you for watching my video on supply chain management. We were only able to scratch the surface. As you can see, this can really go into even much more detail.